Hi everyone, today we're going to talk about why people work. We are going to work on a self-assessment inventory, which we talked about in the last slideshow, and that self-assessment inventory is going to connect you eventually to a job that you'll research. But first we want to talk about the why. Why do people work? Why do you need to have a job? And the answers could vary depending on the person. For example, some people work to pay for the things they need to survive, like food, water, and a place to live. Some people work because there are things that they want in life, a nice car, jewelry, fancy clothes. And some people work because they're trying to reach a goal. Maybe they want to buy a new house, so they have to work to pay for it. There are still others that feel like working gives them a sense of purpose. So for me as a teacher, I love helping others, and so working gets me that feeling every day. Make sure that you get your list out from last class, because as you can see with the word identity, we're going to be adding vocabulary to it throughout these slides. A sense of identity is how you feel you fit into the world. So maybe if you've spent an entire day just sitting on your parents' couch, you feel worthless, you didn't get anything done, you didn't accomplish any of your goals. When someone goes to work, they feel like they've accomplished something that day. They feel like they have a title or a responsibility. A lot of times that satisfaction at work helps you in other areas of your life. So you feeling good about getting your job done puts you in a good mood. Then you're happier when you're around your family, which puts them into a good mood, and so on and so forth. Please write the word identity into your notes. Factors that affect your career choice are as follows, and you'll see we have 5 bold words here to add to your list. You want to assess your values. You want to think about what is important to you. Maybe animals are really important to you and animal rights. So maybe you don't want to work at a place that mistreats animals. That's one of your values and you follow it. Normally, what shapes our values are what happens in our home. So maybe your family is very religious, and whatever your religious beliefs are your values, and that's going to guide you to making a career decision. Another thing you want to consider is your lifestyle. It's the way people choose to live. So my lifestyle involves being home earlier to take care of my pets. If I had a job that had me working really late, that wouldn't work with my animals. So it's really important that the job that I choose fits my lifestyle. Aptitude is a natural physical or mental ability that allows you to do a certain task well. I'm not great at singing, but I'm pretty good at drawing if I need to. I'm really good at talking to people, and maybe my paperwork is a little sloppy. I know people who can fix cars, but they're probably not going to write a novel anytime soon. Knowing our strengths and weaknesses help us choose the job that best fits us. And when you choose the job that best fits you because you have the skills to do that job, then you can do a good job at work and it makes you feel happy. It makes you feel like you've accomplished something. Interests and aptitudes are very closely linked. Interests are the things you like to do. For example, maybe you like to work with computers, or again, using the animals as an example, maybe you like to work with animals. So maybe you're picking a job that fits those interests. You're also interested in them because you're good at them. I wouldn't choose to do something in math if I wasn't good at math. But math is an interest of mine. I wouldn't choose to have animals if I didn't like them. But animals are an interest to me. And finally, your personality is made up of many individual qualities that make you unique. As long as you find a career that fits your personality, you're always going to be happy. So if you're outgoing and friendly and like to be around people, you want to pick a career that has you doing just that. If not, you might find that you really don't like that particular job in the long run because you don't get to have enough time with people. These are some of the questions that the self-assessment inventory might ask you. Questions like, do you like presenting or speaking? Do you like helping others? Are you an indoor kind of person or an outdoor kind of person? Are you physically active and you like to do things that keep you physically active? These are all examples of things you're going to see in the self-assessment inventory. Again, just helping you narrow down what careers will fit you. The reason why it's so important to find a career that best fits you is because you spend most of your life in that career. To be specific, during an average career, you could spend over 86,000 hours at that place. It's the most important activity and central activity in your life. And it doesn't mean that you're going to stay at the same place forever. But no matter what, you should always have a job until you retire. And that's why it's very important that you like it. There are various reasons why people like their job. We talked about values. We talked about identity. We talked about interests. Sometimes people like their job because they really like their salary. What I have here is a comparison of salaries for a video game tester. So in blue, this shows how much these people make hourly for the year. So if they work 40 hours a week, which is a typical work week, and they're doing that all year long and getting paid by the hour, new video game testers are probably making between $17,000 and $18,000 a year. That's not a lot of money if you're trying to make ends meet, meaning pay for your kids, pay for your car, pay for your house. The more experienced video game testers who get paid by the hour are making closer to $30,000, but $30,000 again still isn't great. Maybe they're not paid hourly. Maybe they're paid by their salary, meaning no matter how many hours they work, they're still going to get the same amount of money. Teachers are paid salary. That's your monthly or annual pay, and we discussed that in the last slideshow. But if they're making salaried pay, they might be making a little bit more than $15,000, and over here the yellow bar shows they're making $35,000. Again, for a high school student, $35,000 sounds like a lot of money, but consider you're being paid over the year and wait till you see what that turns out to be in taxes. These salaries aren't that great. However, if you love it, you are big into video games, and you don't care how much money you make, this might be the perfect fit for you. You have to determine what is important to you. A goal is a desired end that you work towards. We've all set goals. They help you feel like you have direction and purpose, and they guide you with what steps to take next. There are 3 different types of goals. There's a short-term goal, few days or weeks, like I'm going to clean my room. That might take you a few days, and that's a short-term goal. An intermediate goal might be I'm going to save up for spring break, or I'm going to get an A in math, because that takes a few months or even years. A long-term goal is something that's going to take 5 to 10 years or longer. So maybe going to college, the entire program might take 4 to 5 years, or saving up for a house. That's going to take a long time. Setting goals helps you reach your full potential and will help you reach your goal of finding a job. So we're going to talk and choose a job for you, but then we're going to break it down. How do you actually get there? How do you actually get this job? What are some of your short-term, intermediate, and long-term goals now as a high school student? Think about it, and don't forget to write the word goal down in your vocab list. It's important for you to gain experience in order for you to get a job. So experience is the knowledge and skills gained from working in a career field, working in a field. Student teachers work in a classroom. They imitate the teacher and eventually become the teacher, and they gain experience. Without having that kind of experience, we might not even get a job as a teacher, or if we do, we won't get paid very well because we don't have the experience. Someone might know all about math, but if they've never worked in a classroom, it's hard for them to teach math. So although knowledge is important, you still have to gain some skills in an environment where you would be working. Job shadowing, and don't forget to put it in your list. Job shadowing is spending a morning or afternoon with a worker in that job but you're just seeing how the activities are performed. So sometimes you might see Rutgers or Rowan students walking around South Brunswick following a teacher, and they are job shadowing. They're not student teachers. They're not practicing. They're not actually going to teach a class. They're just going to watch for the day to see how an actual teacher does their job. And then maybe by being with that teacher, it gives them an inside track about future job openings. Maybe that teacher at the end of that student's visit says, hey, we're looking for some substitutes, or hey, we might be hiring a math teacher soon. That kid, that college student, just got the inside track on a future job opening. Has anyone in here job shadowed? Has anyone in here gone to take your child to work day with their parents? Once you have done exactly that, go with your parents to a specific location, or maybe you went to do an observation at a job place, you are now making a contact. A contact is a member of your network, and we talked about network in the last slideshow that you had the other day. Many job openings are never put on Craigslist. They're never put in the newspaper. No one ever even knows about them because someone who works at the company has a friend and they helped that friend get a job. So, for example, there are people that work in this school who are English teachers at another school. And a friend of theirs worked at South Brunswick. When there was an opening, that friend said, hey, I will introduce you to the supervisor and help you get the job. So that contact helped that person get their foot in the door. It provided that person with inside information about the job opening. Your school counselor can be a contact for you. They might know people that work at different places, and they might be able to help you get a job. There are places called placement centers, and they do exactly that. They help you put your place or put yourself in a place of employment. There are also public and private employment agencies, and those are places that people can go to. They go with their resume, they have a conversation with the agency, and the agency helps them find a job. And then finally, if you really want to find an opportunity to get a job, you might want to just do the old-fashioned way and get on the internet or pick up a newspaper and read about opportunities in your area. Please write down the definition of a contact. Lastly, there are techniques for you finding a job, and part of your technique is to keep a good record of where you've been. So a careful search can find a job that you might love. Searching for something that meets your aptitude, your personality, and your interests could be a place you stay forever in. But you could also bounce around. And keeping a work history helps you let the next employer know exactly where you've been. A work history is a record of the jobs you've held and how long you were with each company. Logical progression versus frequent changes. All that's really saying is that you keeping a work history, a clean record of all the places you've been, and hopefully you've been there for a little bit of time, not like I worked here a day, shows your future employer that you have had experiences, that you've done things in that field or done things similar to that field, and that you'll know what you're doing when you work for them. So we are going to begin our search with a self-assessment inventory to help find the best fit job for you. But first, the work history definition has to go into your list.